We're gonna have fun. You guys ready? Yeah! All right. Hey, writers.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
All right. So I'm so excited to be moderating this panel. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna ask a few questions and then I'll throw to you guys and we'll go back and forth. All right. Don't mess it up. All right, cool. All right. So I'd like to know, where do the story ideas come from?
Well, we often make them up, and sometimes we will take them from our own lives. One that comes to mind involved you as Bernadette and Wolowitz. Do you guys remember the episode where Wolowitz comes back from space and Bernadette wants to reconnect romantically with her husband, but she's really sick? That was my wedding night. And I was really sick, and I held it together during the wedding, and then it all started coming out of me at the end of the night, and I was a mess, and my wife was saying, you know, it's okay, you should go to sleep. And all I could say was, no, we have to consummate the marriage. So she's a lucky lady.
And I believe the nightie I wore in that episode was the one you wore on your wedding.
That is correct. You can see the mucus stains on it.
So any other stories come from your lives?
I always wanted a tiara, so...
You would look very good in one.
I think so, a pretty princess, and this is my tiara.
Maria, you, in the episode where Sheldon got spanked, right?
Yes, the one where Amy gets spanked and she's trying to get attention from Sheldon by pretending to be sick was from my high school. That was me. I was doing a play with a guy I really liked, and I was like trying to seduce him backstage by like exaggerating my cold. So I'd be like, oh, I'm shaking uncontrollably, and he would like tuck me in with his trench coat.
How does the writing process work? Do people go off and write a script on their own, or does everyone work on every script?
Since the first season, we've written as a group. So we sit in a room, and a writer's assistant has the horrible job of sitting at a typewriter and writing down everything and getting it right. And we start, fade in, interior, Leonard and Sheldon's apartment. Sheldon comes in. We do it together. Sometimes in a subset of the whole
Usually
room.
it's this group of people. I don't know how we're not all so sick of each other at this point.
I'm sick of some of you.
There's a lot of hugging, I know that.
And a lot of tears.
Yeah.
Mostly after the hugging.
There's a lot of arguing. One of the best moments last year involved me making Steve very angry when he was talking about the great episode where there's a letter from Howard's father, and there's a question as to what's in it, and Steve said, well, maybe there's a way to do it where we never find out what's in the letter. And I said, oh, you gotta tell people what's in the letter. And then Steve said, remember, there are children in the room. Steve said, he said, you're a bad person.
You're really pissing me off right now with your rules. Now I'm gonna find a way to do this episode where we don't know what was in the letter.
and I think it's terrific.
What's harder to write, the science or the geekery?
Well, we have some help with the science by the end of the table.
Believe it or not, we're all pretty comfortable with the geekery. I mean, the science comes, sometimes we have ideas from articles we've read, or sometimes we, have a vague notion of science, or sometimes we put brackets that say science to come and we toss it over to Dr. Salzberg here for him to fill in some things.
That's right, and it's maybe not as exciting as a wedding night or slapping, but I do read physics today.
And sometimes we do our own research. Like, you remember when we were looking for spider facts for something, for the Spider-Man joke? Like, what can...
There was a joke where Sheldon was irritated by the Spider-Man theme song, and he decided that there was lots of things a spider could do that Spider-Man couldn't, and then we had to try to find what those facts were, so we were all Googling things, and I found this website that was like, amazing true science facts about spiders, so I was reading them, and it's like, the tensile strength of a spider string contains more potential energy than the atomic bomb, and spiders live forever. I mean, they can be killed. You can kill a spider, but if you don't kill them, they will never die.
And we were like, these are great facts, write them down.
Are you guys ready to ask some questions? Should I throw to you guys? Yeah? All right. All right, cool costume.
It's okay, Princess Leia in disguise.
Yeah, my question is, sorry, I'm so nervous. The cast, are they like their characters?
Are we like our characters? What do you guys?
Mayim in real life is a neuroscientist, and she plays one on the show. I don't know, are you like your character?
I'm nothing like my character at all. I'm actually a 6'4" African American dude in real life.
I believe Kunal, is actually Indian.
Okay. Leonard is nice and fun to hang out with, and Galecki can be a bit much.
Galecki is a problem.
Desperate need to be liked.
We do all get excited when we get to hang out with Kaley. Fun to hang out with.
Does that answer you?
That's not an acceptable answer.
Whoa.
Okay.
Excuse me?
It's not an acceptable answer.
Really? Dude, who are you? Reveal yourself.
Someone who loves you.
Johnny Galecki, everybody! Come on,
Hey, buddy.
Johnny Galecki, everybody, let's hear it for him! Woo! He is gonna join this panel. Oh, he has a seat. All right.
I couldn't stay away.
This is so exciting. All right. Do we have another question from the audience?
Since season 1, we've seen Penny go from being a ditzy blonde to being more street smart. I want to know how that evolution came to be.
Well, it kind of mirrored a change in Bill's personality from a ditzy blonde to a...
I don't think, I think that we just got to know Penny better. I think that, I think the pilot is a little off the series, but starting with the first episode of the series, which is episode 2, I think that's the Penny that she always was, but we spent more time with her. Although the wardrobe was a specific request, and that was based on her getting a smidge of success.
I think it was around the time she got that the hemorrhoid
when she got the
commercial.
hemorrhoid commercial.
We decided she probably got some money from that and maybe bought some more grown-up clothes.
But there's also the thing, and that was based on actors and actresses that we know, where once you get a little bit of success and you realize...
You buy a Bush costume. You buy a Bush costume.
Yeah, that's right. But that I assume you guys deal with this, which is the notion that when you go out in public and you can be recognized, you want to look reasonable.
I always look disgusting.
I thought that was great. I have to say, I love that the writers wrote Penny as a talented actress. And I think we all kind of expected to see Penny fail up on that stage. That would have been a laugh, but it really made us root for that character even more than we already did. I love that you guys made that choice.
I would ask you and Melissa, I think her career is moving at a speed that matches the speed of my friends who are actors.
Sure.
Yeah, so it goes kind of slow for a while.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of wine, a lot of waitresses. Let's do one more question and then we'll go back to me.
The actors seem to laugh a lot at their jokes. Is there a lot of improvising on the show?
There's no improvising. What these amazing writers put in that script is what we say, and we get the script the night before the table read, and I always say it's like Christmas morning. Whenever I get that script, I get so excited to see what they put on the page, and but even throughout the week, I mean, we do find what you guys find funny. They're brilliant what they do and hilarious. Johnny, do you have?
Yeah, well, sometimes the writers write on the fly during live tapings, which is very difficult to do, obviously. And so sometimes the line is very new to us. And then often it can be an audience's reaction that we don't foresee throughout the week of rehearsal.
Like they laugh too hard, and we need to make it less funny.
More, it really kind of governs not just the pace of a scene, but sometimes the entire point of a scene or the priorities of a scene. And that's a lot of fun. And then sometimes we're just charmed by ourselves. Kunal has a particular proclivity for laughing at his own jokes.
But as an editing style for the show, I mean, I think one of the things that's always weird to me in sitcoms is sometimes characters say very funny things that the character knows is funny, and the people in the room don't laugh.
Yeah.
And that's weird because usually when people say something funny, people laugh. So as an editing style, when characters are reacting with laughter, which is natural and real, we like to use it because that's what would happen in the real world. Kaley laughs a lot.
Eric, I hear that you've said it's a very noticey room, that the writer's room is a very noticey room, and what does that mean?
Well, yeah, that's a paradox, because this is a show that celebrates the outsider and criticizes the human propensity to shun or make fun of the outsider. But if you do something unusual in the writer's room, like say trim your nails with the office scissors, they don't let you forget about it. So it has been compared by some, me, to being examined by a monster with 20 eyes.
One of the most amazing members of the Big Bang production team is Scott London, who's our prop master. And at production meetings, we say to Scott things like, we'll need killer robots, or we'll need telematic kissing machines, or we need giant Jenga. And Scott, he'll just go, about how big do you see the Jenga? Do I need 2 sets, one locked in place for a point in the game, or do I all lose? How do you want it? And then he makes giant Jenga.
The giant Jenga actually came from Johnny, right?
Yeah, my brother in Chicago got a hold of some wood and a table saw, and next thing we knew, we were playing massive Jenga in the backyard by flashlight. And when you're the size of my brother and I, it's a dangerous game.
It's played to the death.
Pretty much. You need to be quick if you're down there at the lower tiers. And then he also has to make all the Chinese meals that we eat around the table. And for good or ill, Scott was a chef beforehand, and so they're absolutely delicious. And they're so good.
So good.
And we eat much too much in between takes when we really don't need to.
There is a lot of eating on the show. Is that intentional? Do you intentionally write?
A lot of eating in the writer's room.
So, you know, what could they be doing at the beginning of the scene? And then we're sitting and eating, and then maybe they're eating. Okay.
They're very brainy characters, so in order to make them relatable, we want those things that brainy people enjoy as well as regular people, and one of those is eating.
Yeah, why do you pick on geologists so much?
Actually, those lines are all Jim Parsons. He ad-libs all crap geology against our wishes.
Yeah. Well, you could admit it. It's not really a science. Come on, it's a hobby, right? It's rock collecting, isn't it? I don't know. David, do you at UCLA, when you're walking through the halls, do the geologists stop you and ask you what the heck is going on?
I've had to stay out of the geology building.
They actually will throw rocks at you, is my understanding.
It's the most dangerous science to piss off.
That's right. You know what this is? This is feldspar. This is quartz.
But they're probably not that great at throwing. Sorry, I can't help it.
We have a lot of geology jokes that we haven't put in the script yet. Apparently, you're hearing them all now. So.
You're only encouraging them.
And on that note, hi.
Are we ever going to see the Koothrappallis?
I think it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Sure. We've talked about it. It hasn't happened yet, but we've definitely talked about it.
Will we ever see Mrs. Wolowitz?
We've seen
slight
glimpses of
Seen a
her.
glimpse.
Will we see?
Like Bigfoot.
Yes.
Will we see more of her?
Well, there's a lot of her to see. So we can show parts of her and really drag that out for a
They
long
need to make
time.
wider screen televisions.
It's always thrilling to play a character and then meet that character's family members, much like when you sit down with a best friend and you meet their parents, and you think, oh boy, that explains so much. And it's fun and it's interesting and sometimes tragic, but always more funny because it's not your family. So it's really exciting and insightful when you get to meet a character that the writers have written who gives you even more backstory and understanding of a character that you've been playing for 6 years. So I'm looking forward to meeting Leonard's father. I'm looking forward to meeting, spending more time with his mother. And we always talked about kind of Sheldon and Leonard having the mother that the other wanted and needed, and really feeling that envy between the two characters. And they're both incredible actresses, obviously. So the more family, as far as I'm concerned, the better.
It just takes a story. It's a question that we get a lot, and the answer is that you can't say we're going to do an episode where we meet one of Leonard's siblings. You have to have there has to be a story going on with Leonard where meeting one of his siblings is what you want in the story, and all of these things start with story. That you have to have Leonard has to be going through something, or the arrival of a sibling might change something.
What about your personal experience made you want to write for this show?
Well, I remember when I was applying for this job, I met with Bill, and I just tried to do a laundry list of all the nerdy things I'd ever done, and that succeeded. And one of them was that when I was in college, I went to a costume party, and I dressed up as the Doppler effect. And since it was college, I got increasingly drunk during the night and ran around going, wow! And I think it was sometime after that story that Bill said, you have the job. And also that I was like, this is the best job in the world.
Maria had a pretty good story when we met with her for working on the...
Yeah, right before my interview for this job, my husband and I were playing a lot of World of Warcraft because I didn't have a job. And it was our anniversary, and we didn't have any money because I didn't have a job. And I said, why don't we give ourselves in-game presents? And I really wanted a phantom blade because my rogue had just hit 30 or whatever that is. And I got him a Dark Moon Fair amulet. I got him a lunacy deck. And he got me real-life chocolates. And I was like, this is not what we talked about.
You have the saddest story. Didn't you have the Dungeons and Dragons for solo set?
So some of us played Dungeons and Dragons when we were kids a lot, but if you were
Nothing
me,
geeky about that.
well, if you had no friends, they made something called Dungeons and Dragons solo modules, which you could play by yourself, and it was like choose your own ending, and poor little lonely fat Steve would be there rolling his dice in his room with the solo module. But now I get to work on the show, so it all worked out. You still have no friends.
Who is the most hardcore gamer out of all of you think?
Maria.
Probably Maria.
Maria.
Nice.
Yeah.
You heard her story already, right? I mean, you have to ask that question.
Pretty hardcore.
She'll take whatever is in the environment and play a game with it, whether it's a stick or a couple of rocks. She'll start playing with them.
She'll spin a hoop down the street.
Hoops.
That is the only correct answer. Moving on.
Who wrote out the roommate and relationship agreements? Because I could really use one of those.
We kind of pieced it together as we've gone along.
It's ever growing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a living document.
Yeah.
It's a vast document that seems to have what you need for the story in it. Look, it does have that. I did a page of it for Entertainment.
Right.
Entertainment Weekly published a page that I did. I think,
And I think you could see a page of it on the screen in the Shellbot episode.
Yeah.
When he flashes it to Leonard.
But there's a prop that you guys have. Does it have anything in it? Do you have
The binder? Oh, yeah. Again, Scott London, the prop master. Yeah, it's very, very detailed. I've made it through a page and a half. It's pretty
Are there any inside jokes between the writers that make it into episodes?
I'm sure there are.
That's a very reasonable question.
Well, Bazinga was an
If we think of any,
Bazinga
Yeah,
was Bazinga was a thing that came
that's right,
from
from
the
the
room
grapefruit.
from Stephen Engels, was a writer earlier on. Names of people, often names of characters, are Howard Wolowitz is the name of my partner in the computer business when I was a programmer. And so some of those things.
There was a time when Wolowitz was talking about bullies that had bullied him in high school, and we were using bullies from our past. And I think
this is true.
I think Jim Reynolds might have actually, he put his bully's name in and then asked to have it moved because he was afraid.
The next day.
That's a good bully. That's a bully who is good at his job.
I'm so
Terrify this guy.
I'm so desperate to tell you guys the name right now. Just watch Jim sweat.
Don't do it. He was scary.
Considering how chaotic Comicon is, how does Sheldon handle that with all of his weird idiosyncrasies?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think we haven't talked about it. I've got to believe that Sheldon would have a very specific plan where he would prepare, he would know the experience he's going into, and he would have coping mechanisms that he would have designed for lines and things like that. It's how I handle Comic-Con. I have very specific coping mechanisms.
I bet we're not the people to ask in this room that question. I bet some of you know the answer to that.
Yeah. But I think Sheldon, difficult situation, Sheldon does well if he knows what the situation will be and develops a coping strategy. I mean, it's kind of a dull answer, but I think that's how he would do it.
I think he'd hate cutsies.
Oh, people who cut the line? Oh, no. Sheldon would probably believe that there's a citizen's arrest possible. So he would work the logic this way, saying that a line creates an implied contract.
He also would find it really weird that his face is on those giant bags.
David, I have a question for you. How often do you change the whiteboard?
Oh, they change every time.
They've changed.
They often are related to what the characters are talking about that week. And there's also some inside jokes for the scientists.
Didn't you had your students there 1 week, and didn't you put up the answers to the test they had just taken?
That's right. It took them surprisingly long to figure it out, which might explain how they did.
But it's a nice way to goose the ratings by making sure they have to watch the
Right,
show.
right.
So I think that's good.
But sometimes they've been very cool things. They've been, like when they were talking about time travel once, there were time travel things and stuff like that. So if you can
The solution to time travel is on the whiteboard in the Big Bang Theory. So if anyone wants to try it.
Well, actually, it's probably the one behind the DNA molecule you can't read.
Whose idea was Amy's tiara?
I think we were going through the story, and it was Chuck's idea to give her the tiara, and I think I kind of vomited out the whole, oh, it's a tiara, I'm a pretty princess, and this is my tiara. So.
Anytime there's something that's very, very female about being satisfied by something in the world, that's from Steve.
Yeah.
That's kind of who we lean to.
You're welcome, guys.
There are two women on the writing staff, but then there's Steve.
Well, you were in the pageant world for a while, weren't you,
I was.
Steve? Oh, that was you. I thought Steve was.
Life is a pageant.
Very true.
Which character ended up getting the tenure position?
I don't think we know who yet,
Yeah.
but at some point it will happen.
Some or none. Will or won't get or not get tenure.
Could you guys give us a tease of what's to come in season 7?
Johnny?
I know nothing, and you know it.
We will see Leonard on the ship.
Oh, we will?
Yeah, we will.
Fantastic. Will I have a parrot?
Perhaps.
We can't give away everything. John.
Right.
We'll be, now that Koothrappali can speak to women without alcohol, we'll be poking at that a little bit.
Nice.
Anything else?
I think
will have
Mayim,
emotions.
Bernadette and Amy may take their first trip away together without Penny along, so that could happen.
Wisecracks will be made.
Do you think that Sheldon and Amy will ever in other words, doing the nasty?
Could you be more explicit?
Eric, when a man and a woman
I think I'll use Sheldon words and say it is a possibility.
Possibility. All right.
Once you erotically massage someone's nose, it is a slippery slope. I think we all know what happens after that.
I believe Amy will continue to try to get her way. I'm pretty confident in saying that. I don't know.
They're kind of a sort of an irresistible force, immovable object thing to write. I mean, it always baffles me how much Amy has gotten Sheldon to move.
Right.
Yeah, that's always amazing. But it's a very interesting thing in the writer's room because with Sheldon, you have a character who comes from a place of no, I'm not going to change at all. And it's a lot of interesting work in the room for somebody to say, what if Amy did this? And at some point somebody will say something and then you go, okay, yeah, he'd give in at that point, right? Yeah.
I also kind of think part of the charm of their relationship is its sort of glacial pace. I think there's such a sweetness to that I don't know. I think one of the virtues is how slowly we move it forward. It also gives us, that way the show can last a lot longer. A lot of us have kids who need to go to college.
Right. Ideally, when you watch the show, you should pretend it's real to enjoy it. So if you are like, I know what's going to happen because I went to Comicon and people wrote it, I think you'd enjoy the show less. I don't know. Just my theory.
Well, doesn't that negate the concept of this panel?
A little. I'm skeptical of the whole Comic-Con thing because I feel like when I enjoyed The Wizard of Oz, I was a big Wizard of Oz fan as a kid, I kind of related to the Cowardly Lion as a real guy. And if I was going on some website and it's like L. Frank Baum saying, I think in the next one I'm going to do this and this and this, it would be harder for me to relate to the Cowardly Lion as an imaginative reality.
But didn't you go to L. Frank Baum?
Oh, yeah. I dressed as TikTok one year. It was cool. It was a cool scene.
I can't stress enough how much you just all entered the Big Bang writers' room.
That's what it's like.
That is easily 30% of the day.
You guys, thank you so much
Hey,
for
guys.
your help moderating this panel. Thank you.
Can I know we're running late, but let me take a second to say that you guys are I know everyone says they have the best fans in the world, and they're misleading people because this show has the best fans in the world. And the fact that we all gather here every July, just before we go back into full swing production in August, you guys give us the shot in the arm, all of us, that is like no other to start every new season. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.